Welcome to this very interesting story sessions. And I want you to pay much attention because every story is very unique and every story will raise questions in your mind that will help you to think through the topics we have been discussing. Integrity. Now, listen very well to this wonderful story and get ready to discuss lessons about stories in your small groups. This story will make you strong and true. It's from this book. And the title of the story is Filling a Basket with Water. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever tried filling a basket with water? I'm sure you get the answers. But listen to this story. It's very unique. There was a king. And they said the king was in Persia. And this king had ways of doing his things in very uncommon ways. When he wanted something, he would use methods that are very unique and very uncommon. Once he wanted to hire a faithful person. He wanted to hire somebody who could help him to do whatever he's doing in the kingdom. He wanted somebody that would be obedient to every instruction he would give. Guess what the king did? What could you have done if you wanted to get somebody who would be very obedient? What could you have done? Maybe you have many kinds of answers, but listen to what this king in Persia did. He sought for people advertised all over the city. Come, I'm looking for somebody that I can hire to really work in my kingdom. Somebody that will be very obedient. When he sent out words, sent out word all over the city, sent out his word. Maybe in those days they will be beating a gong. The king is looking for somebody that can work with him, somebody that will be very obedient to all his instructions. And the town crier must have gone around. And then, do you know what happened? Many people gathered. Many people gathered in the king's palace. They were even up to 100 and more. Guess what the king did? He tried to check from one person to the next who could be very bright and very obedient. He found only two that were nearer to what he wanted. So what did he do? He chose the two who seemed to be brightest and quickest in the way they handle things, because he tested everyone. Some were sluggish, some were slow, some could not move with the timing he wanted. So there were only two. Do you know what he did next? He sent all the others, the crowd, away and called the two, said, come, follow me to my garden. And in the garden, he placed a basket, a large basket in the garden. And he told them, fill this basket with water from the well. After they had begun the work, he left and told them, well, only told them, remember, when the sun is down, I'll come back and see your work. And if I find you've done it the way I expected, I will pay you. With that, the king left. What do you think happened with the two men? Your guess, you're right. They began to work. For a little while, the two men carried water, poured it into the large basket. Without thinking much about it, they would just keep water from the well, keep pouring, keep pouring. What do you think was happening? After some time, what do you think they noticed? Your guess should be as right as mine. One of them suddenly said, what is the use of doing this foolish work? We can never fill the basket, for the water runs out as fast as we pour it in. I'm sure you expect that too if we're doing that job. So the other one said, no, that's not my business. There were two people I call them person A and person B. A is the one that said, I can't do these foolish things again. Even if I'm going to be paid for it, I can't continue to just fetch water from the well and pour into the basket. What kind of foolish work? What is wrong with this king? The person B said, that's not my business. My business is to obey these instructions from the king. So maybe the king has something in mind. Let's just do it. What do you think happened? The person A said, I can't do this again. You may continue to do foolish things, but I'm leaving. See, but the king has hired us to fetch water from the well and pour into the basket. He has a reason. I don't care about what his reason may be, but the way I'm thinking, the king is foolish. And he's telling me to do foolish things. I won't do it again. That's what he said. So, he said, you can do it, you can continue, you can do as you please, but as for me, I'm not going to work at anything so foolish, even for a prayer. And with that, do you know what he did? He threw down his bucket and went away very angry. But person B said not a word, but kept on carrying water from the well and pouring into the baskets. Would you have been the person 1 or person 2? At sunset, the well was empty. And he was pouring the last, just scraping the last bucket full of water from the well. He scraped it and poured it into the basket. And suddenly, he saw something very bright. He stood and picked it from the basket. Do you know what it was? A very beautiful gold ring. And he said, now I see the use of all this work. If the king has told me to just empty the well, I have been pouring the water everywhere, I will miss this ring. But now I can see the wisdom of the king. Even though I never understood, I was ready to make sure I obey the king. As soon as that happened, the king came around. Guess what happened? What do you think happened next? Your guess is as right as mine. Do you think the king was excited about this person number 2? Yes. He took the ring from him and handed over the ring to this person 2 and said, you own the ring. Use the ring for yourself and I make you number 2 in my kingdom. What a great reward. More than any pay you have thought about. What are the lessons? When you go to the class, you learn the lesson from your class. God bless you.